Yeah, also guys, welcome to this video. So in this video, we're going to be entering a BTC day trade. This is actually in the weekend. There's a particular strategy I already shared on my YouTube channel. All right, and this is a day trading strategy strictly for New York session. Now, it doesn't matter whether it's weekend or whether it's weekdays. It's the strategy works. So basically, like I explained from that previous video, you just need to focus on one time frame, which is a 15 minutes time frame. Then wait for New York to open, which is around 2 p.m. Now, once 2 p.m. is open, there is going to be a handle. Now, the handle simply means there's going to be like a move downwards or upwards, taking out liquidity. Now, this downward move, as you can see over here, took out this liquidity from London session. Then if once you see a close above that handle, the handle is just this this area over here, then you either wait for retracement, although most times I don't wait for retracement unless maybe if I come to the chart very late and okay, I see that there's already a retracement. But once you get the close above this handle, then you can just take the trade. Now, your target most times is either 1 to 1 or 1 to 2. Now, sometimes it might seem like scalping, but it depends on the length of the stop loss. For example, you have a large stop loss, then use 1 to 2, for example. That trade you might have to hold it to the following day, and it also depends on how volatile the market is at that particular point in time. So this is weekend. This might be a little bit slower, but on weekdays, you can still hit your TP that same day. So this strategy actually has from the back test I did on gold, you can see that this strategy has 90% win rates. All right, if you're using 1 to 1. Now, if you're using 1 to 2, you might get like 80% win rates. All right, yeah, so that's just it. So this is the entry over here, close above the handle. This level over here is the handle, close above the handle, and you can either enter in this area, target 1 to 1, or if you can wait for retracement. The reason why in this case I might want to wait for retracement is because of this balance price range over here. So now the trade has been entered. This is a live chart. It's not in a replay mode. So let's see how this trade plays out. Now, another confirmation that will most likely pop most times when you see this setup is a break of trend line. Break of trend line normally come as the secondary confirmation that your trade is actually valid. So you normally see a trend line that setup normally we need to break. Now, once it breaks and close above it, then there's a guarantee that the trade is in this case now is going to go to clear out this higher liquidity from London session. So this is just a quick, very simple, easy day trading strategy that you can use. You don't necessarily need to complicate things, though. If to go deep into the strategy, you might start seeing this as complicated, but this is just a very simple way to day trade. Now, if you are targeting 1 to 2, 1 to 2, and the good thing about this setup is that it pops up almost every single day. And the only thing is that you have to first actually understand the trend of the market. Now, one of the psychology or the behind these concepts, all right, how I came about these concepts is that BTC and gold markets, they move more during the New York session compared to the London session. All right, BTC sometimes the Asian session, but most times they move more. Like the actual direction of the markets is decided during the New York session. So this setup over here is more like a way, something I accidentally bumped into. I started monitoring now so that okay, most times the actual direction for that particular day is normally decided between 2 p.m. Nigerian time to 8 p.m. Nigerian time for BTC and gold. Now, um like I said, you also need to pay attention to the trend. Now, we all know right now, as the time recording this video, BTC is on the uptrend on the 4 hour time frame. So whatever you're looking for over here, you're looking for buy setups, not sell setup. Because if you get buy setups, there has higher probability that it's going to play out. So we're just going to sit around. Let's see how the trade plays out. Now, one other thing I also want to point out is that if you don't see this setup within 2 p.m., between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m., then there is no trade for you in that particular day. So I also shared a video already on gold when I did the back test on gold. So if you also want to check out that video, a pop up might just come up over here. Then you also see how I use this strategy also on gold. So let's see if this 1 to 2 is going to play out or not. Yeah, what's up, guys? So the trade is still going our way. The reason is a little bit slow is because this is weekend, all right? Low volume, but the algorithm remains the same. So this is a strategy that like I told you, accidentally bashed into, right? But I started noticing the same pattern every single day. That is how I came about the strategy. So for those who wondering or who are wondering what is the name of this strategy, you're not going to find it anywhere in any YouTube channel. So it is called the soft handle strategy. It's called a soft handle strategy. Now, this is actually something I have been um, working on, working on for some time, and this is a strategy that I've come to conclude that in conclusion that this is actually the best day trading strategy if you're targeting 1 to 2 or 1 to 1, all right, on a 15 minutes time frame. Now you can also use it for a higher time frame, but because you are a little bit time specific, you are session specific, you are focusing on New York session, you don't want to overextend the whole thing or make it too complicated. So 15 minutes time frame, direction of the market, the trend of the market, get your handle, close above the handle. You can wait for retracement if there has an FEG, all right. If it doesn't have an FEG, just enter the trade and it will just spike from there. So we're already up um a couple of points. Now, in this case, what you might want to do sometimes is just to place your TP1 around this area. But I don't normally do TP1, TP2 in this setup. I just go for risking 1%, targeting 2%, or risking $100, targeting $200, just straight up. Then if you are doing 1 to 1, you are doing 1 to 1, all right. So and another thing is apart from the trend, right, there are other ways you can determine if you are going to do 1 to 1 or 1 to 2. Now, in a case whereby you have an initial 15-minute structure, all right, or initial 15 minutes move. Now, if there's a deep retracement, you can go for 1 to 2, all right, the way I did here. But if there's no retracement, you can just go for 1 to 1. Now, in this case, we have it's not really a clear structure, but we do have this kind of move over here, all right, which is where the market is reacting to. So you can see that this is actually a retracement from this particular move over here. So that is why we're doing 1 to 2, targeting the high of that particular move or that structure. So we have a kind of like demand area over here. So when you have a retracement, a deep retracement into the optimum trade entry level, those of you who trade ICT you understand what I'm trying to talk about. So if you have this kind of retracement, then and you get a soft handle setup during New York session, you can go for 1 to 2. But if let's say for example this setup came up around this area, I'm just going to go for 1 to 1 because I know that okay, I'm just going to target somewhere around this area, then market will want to retrace again. So um that's another thing to also point out. All right, so let's just see how those trade plays out. Yeah, what's up, guys? So our trade is going very, very well. Now, in this strategy, there is something I normally call the imbalance obstruction, or imbalances that obstruct the trade. Now, sometimes if you see this particular setup and you have like imbalances in the market that has not been tapped yet, that has not been violated yet, it is going to act as a hindrance. Sometimes it might just let the market range a little bit, all right, before taking off. But if it has been tapped, especially if let's say for example is the 1 hour, let's say for example is a 1 hour fair value gap, all right, or imbalance that has not been tapped, this trade is not just going to go straight up, it's going to range for some time. Sometimes you might not really get to take profits because there's an but if like in this case for example this imbalance over here has been tapped already, so this should not stand as an obstacle to this trade. This trade is just going to go straight for TP, and the TP as well, you if you are placing TP, it's not a must that it's actually 1 is to 2 or 1 to 1 or there, but the only thing is that you make sure you are risking at least equal or more than you are targeting equal or more than you actually risking that particular trade, because sometimes um you have to place your TP just where you have liquidity in the market. So that is what I normally refer to as the 1 to L risk to reward. 1 to L. Now, one word to L simply stand for is just risking 1% and targeting liquidity. That's basically what it means. So, like in this trade, for example, now this is where we have liquidity. They also have liquidity above this level. So, if for example that certain TP, let's say somewhere here is 1 to 2, and there's a very good amount of liquidity over here, you can just extend your TP around this area. All right. So let's head over back to the 15-minute time frame. So, like I said, you focus more on the 15 minutes time frame. The 15-minute time frame, 4-hour time frame to identify your trend. That is basically all you need. You don't need to do top down analysis, all those stuff. No. Just know the direction of the market. Come to New York session and wait for your soft handle setup. All right. So let's see how it goes, guys. All right. Yeah, what's up, guys? So the trade is still going on. We can a little bit slow. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to be uploading the part two of this particular trade. So I'm just gonna post the pop-up is going to show up right here. So watch the video to see how the trade play out. So if you want to know learn this strategy, I'm going to be teaching this strategy for free on this channel. So subscribe to this channel so that you can get acquainted with this strategy and how to use it. So there are a lot of things that actually goes into this particular strategy. So I'm going to be revealing them on this channel in my subsequent video. Take care, guys, and do have a lovely weekend ahead. Bye.